The following is a production of Jenkins FM. Thank you for your support. You're listening to Football Unscripted with Jenkins.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Football Unscripted with me, Jenkins, coming to you from Jakarta, Indonesia. Well, yesterday, Auckland FC were away to Brisbane Roar at Suncorp Stadium in Queensland. It was the return fixture of Auckland's very first competitive game, which was against Brisbane at Mount Smart Stadium. That resulted in a 2-0 win for Auckland to kickstart their A-League life. Auckland had a somewhat familiar look to their lineup. Paulson in goal, Sakai at right back, Dan Hall, his second game back after his long-term injury, partnered Pijneke, in which they had an outstanding start to the A-League season. De Vries on the left back, Rogerson was out on the right, Verstraete and Gallegos was in the middle, with Francois picked to start for the first time for Auckland FC. Mata was back up front to partner Guillermo Mai. The attendance at Suncorp Stadium was 5,466. Not a very good attendance and way below a regular attendance for what Auckland FC get at Mount Smart Stadium. Nonetheless, Auckland FC did take a good handful of fans over. The Port were representing, and I believe there was a couple of hundred there at the stadium, and they were showing their colours and making some good noise for Auckland FC. Good on the lads at the Port for making the trip over to Brisbane. So yeah, the game started and Auckland FC didn't really dominate as much as you'd think they would be. This is the top of the table Auckland FC coming up against second to the bottom Brisbane Roar, who have only got 1 point at home all season out of a possible 20-something points, I think it is. So you would have thought Auckland FC would have walked this one, but they didn't. It looked a little bit frustrating. Auckland had 3 draws previous to this in a row, and I thought, oh, maybe it's going to be another draw coming this way. Brisbane kind of looked a little bit of the better team. They were getting chances. Paulson pulled off a great reaction save, which could have put Brisbane ahead in the first half. And then towards the end of the first half, there was a breakthrough for Auckland FC with Verstraete on the right-hand side crossing in for Nando Pijneke to header, a power header into the net to put Auckland FC up 1-0 at the break. Wasn't really deserved, but we'll take it. The teams that end up winning championships often do win ugly. They may not be convincing winners, and for sure Auckland FC managed to somehow go into the break 1-0 up. An early substitution in the second half saw Max Mata come off for Howison, and as the second half progressed, it looked like Auckland were almost sitting back, which they've done in the past, and it's very dangerous because they've been caught out with last-minute goals, giving up the victory for a draw. And then, a few more substitutions. Francois came off for Toomey on 66 minutes. And then there was a doubled substitution on 78 minutes. Verstraete came off for Tommy Smith. Tommy Smith, he slotted in the middle of the defence, so it became a 5-back, looking to defend the lead. Quite a defensive play from Steve there, rather than going for the second goal, which would have helped relax the players a lot more. Also, Brimmer came on for Guillermo Mai. So we'd taken off our 2 strikers, and we brought on, we brought on Brimmer, who's more of a central attacking midfielder, more of a playmaker, creator. He comes back quite deep to set up the game. So I was trying to think, we must be trying to grind out that 1-0 win. But luckily, that wasn't to be. because in the 83rd minute, we managed to break free. We got in behind the Brisbane Roar backline with Rogerson, who then played in Hiroki Sakai, of all players, who was right up there to score a very convincing goal. It went to VAR. They did have a little luck to make sure there was no offside, but due to a trailing leg from the Brisbane Roar defender, Rogerson was onside, where he was able to run on to square the ball to Hiroki Sakai for our captain to get the goal. And 2-0 on 83 minutes looked like we definitely had the 3 points in the bag. So that win was effectively our game in hand over Western United. They didn't have a game on the weekend, it was their bye week. So that puts us both on 21 matches played. We are 7 points ahead of them, sitting on 45 points. They are on 38. Behind Western United, only a point behind, is Melbourne City, followed by Melbourne Victory, and then Western Sydney Wanderers. Western Sydney Wanderers is the team Auckland FC will play next. That'll be next week at Mount Smart Stadium. Looking at the fixture list to come, there's 5 matches left for Auckland FC, 2 at home and 3 away. The home match next week is against Western Sydney Wanderers. The following week is away to Sydney FC. The Port are doing a port of call for a group of Port supporters to get over to Sydney and support the boys. So good on you to the Port faithful. The following week, Auckland FC stay in Australia and they're down in Melbourne Victory. So 2 very big back-to-back games. Hopefully they can pull through. 4 points out of those 6 would be very, very good indeed. And then they come back to Auckland to play Perth at home in the penultimate weekend. And then going into May, in May, so this is the weekend, May the 3rd, Saturday the 3rd of May, Auckland FC are away to Western United, the team currently in second place in the league. That can change because it is very tight in the league table. After Auckland 7 points ahead, there's a group of teams that are only 1 or 2 points apart, so it can really change week by week right now. Hopefully, we can maintain the winning ways going into the playoffs, build on momentum. If we can get 4 points on the road against Sydney and Melbourne, come back to Auckland, get a victory over Perth, have a strong game against Western United on the final game, that will give us nice momentum going into the playoffs, where hopefully we can get what we deserve and lift the championship. I believe, the Premiership is the regular season, the Premiership plate. Championship is the overall winner who will win the playoffs. Hopefully we can do it. Hopefully we're at home. We should be at home. It's looking very likely now we will finish top in our debut season, which is absolutely amazing. And if we finish top, we get a home semi-final. Like the second leg is the home game. And then in the actual final itself, we should be the designated home team. Whether or not it's going to be in Auckland, I don't know. I need to find out clarification from different sources. I've heard that the league will pick the venue. Whether that's going to be in Australia, I don't know. But by rights, Auckland deserve to have it at home at Mount Smart. Some people have said that Mount Smart's too small for the final. But when we're getting 25,000, maybe throw in some extra temporary stands seating, give us an extra 2 to 5,000, we could be pushing up to 30k for a final audience. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I'll see if I can find out any more information, and on my next podcast, I'll try and include it there. Anyway, great win for Auckland FC, back to winning ways after 3 draws in a row, putting them 7 points clear at the top of the A-League with only 5 games left to go. Up the Port.
Jenks FM 109.2.